Yeah, what's
Wakey,
happening?
wakey.
Welcome to this episode of Business Party Podcast. Good to be back. I taking a little bit of a break. My son's doing wrestling, and most of his meets have been on Wednesdays lately. So, but not tonight, which is awesome. So, yeah, it's been good doing that. But feels good to be back to talk some shit about everything that's been happening. We got a decent little bit that we just started talking about right
Mm-hmm.
now. So yeah, we'll get to that here in a little bit. But Davey should be here in a little bit. He's running a little late doing his thing. And yeah. So how you been, Jackie?
Been good. It's such a difficult time of year. Like we've been with like weekend hangover stuff. We've been like pushing it off and push because it's just been so difficult to get everyone
Mm-hmm.
together at a specific day, time, and stuff. So, you
Yeah,
know,
holiday time is a little bit hard when it hits
yeah,
around the
it's
time.
really easy. So, like, once the holidays are over, I'm sure we'll be extremely more consistent on everything, going back to like the 3 to 4 podcasts a week
Mm-hmm.
schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, or live stream schedule, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But yeah, no, but that's, I mean, busy with the holidays, man. And I think, what is it? Not, is it next week or the week after? It's next week will be our holiday
Yeah. Yeah, because
special.
I work next week. And then I'm off all the next week after from the 25th. Yeah, because it's 22nd, 23rd, 25th up until the 2nd is when I go back, which is nice.
Yeah. No, that's pretty nice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that week of Christmas, like in between Christmas and New Year's, I don't think we're going to be doing a show. I'm going to be out of town. I'm sure you guys have things that you're going to do.
Yeah, I don't think
So,
I'll be doing one. If anything, I might do a little game streaming, but I'm trying to all depends on really um if the range by me is open because I've been trying to go and do that quite a bit more. I've been adding more onto that AR that I got. I got
oh
a
yeah.
better, yeah, I got that better trigger, the Geisley trigger, and I got an Arrow Precision charging handle on it, so that's a lot nicer, a lot more surface area to grab onto, so it makes it easier to rack around and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh lordy.
Yeah, I would like to try to
Oh,
find some stuff to do over that holiday time, but yeah, anyone that does see this, yeah, we'll probably be off that week of the Christmas week, but next week we're gonna try to do a Christmas like episode. Hopefully have some people on. We'll be trying to get a hold of some people, but it'll be our Christmas episode, so that'll be fun.
oh yeah. I'm so disappointed, okay? Cuz I ordered a shit ton of yarn, okay? To
Mm-hmm.
make Christmas hats for everyone that we would have on, and I'd send it out to them and everything. I ordered the shit like Thanksgiving. Still hasn't
Damn.
come in yet.
Wow. That's crazy.
So it looks like it'll just be me, you, and Jack with the hats this year.
Looks like
Again.
even the supply chain line is fucked up for yarn too, huh?
Well, because it was Joanne's Fabrics Doorbusters, man.
Mm.
I mean, you know, you can get yarn for 70% off. People are going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's actually a damn
yeah.
good deal, especially if you like doing it. It's your hobby, getting something like that for that cheap. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, all right. So you want to get into it?
Yeah.
All
Get
right.
into a little something.
Get into it. What is it that let's see.
We'll kick off since the name of this is Hunter Ready to Talk. Hunter came out and decided to give a little talking going on. Let me cut. Well, I can go ahead and share this whole screen because actually this is all the Hunter Biden BS. I think that's yeah, there we go. Yeah, there'll be a little video of him talking, but yeah, what's it? House member calls for FBI to arrest and shackle Hunter Biden for refusing a congressional subpoena. So I guess he like refused to come in for what was it? closed door talking or closed door questioning.
Yeah, for a deposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was just like, but I want this to be public. Like, why don't you guys want it to be public? And I heard like one of the arguments is that if he did do a public hearing, everybody would only have 5 minutes to question him. And they want more time to do it. And this jack off is talking about how he wants it to be out in the public and for the public to see it. And it's just like, you can videotape your depositions, right?
Right.
Like, didn't Trump's depositions get, we were able to see them, transcripts from Ghislaine Maxwell's deposition. Everyone was able to read that.
Right. And I could see why he would want to do that, to be honest, because then he can drag shit out.
Yes. Did you hear about my tweet that went viral?
No.
My tweet went viral. It got 32 likes.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh. Moving on up. No, so I was talking about Hunter Biden, him being subpoenaed like a few weeks ago and stuff. And I wrote in there and I was like, oh, great. Yeah, because he's just going to be like, I plead the fifth, or at this time, my counsel has advised that I don't answer right at this moment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I guess the deal was like he was supposed to go in for the deposition at 9:30 this morning, and instead he gave a press conference, and he sounds so much like his dad. It's insane.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He even like makes the same kind of face. I was thinking that while watching some of this. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of this. Which one? God damn it. There we go. Yeah, we'll listen to a little bit of this. This is like the longest one, the 5-minute one, but I figure I'd place at least some of this one. But yeah, it is crazy how he looks and does sound like him.
Legitimate investigations of my family do not proceed on distortions, manipulated evidence, and lies.
I'm in pain.
And I'm here today to acknowledge that I've made mistakes in my life and wasted opportunities and privileges I was afforded. For that, I'm responsible. For that, I'm accountable. And for that, I'm making amends. But I'm also here today to correct how the MAGA right has portrayed me for their political purposes.
The MAGA right.
I am first and foremost a son, a father, a brother, and a husband from a loving and supportive family.
I was gonna say, whenever you're saying wasting time, whatever else I was saying, and also like damn near $1 million on hookers and drugs,
Right.
I'm proud to have earned degrees from Georgetown University and Yale Law School.
I don't think they're proud of you.
I'm proud of my legal career and business career. I'm proud of my time serving on a dozen different boards of directors. And I'm proud of my efforts to forge global business relationships.
God, he looks so much like his dad.
For 6 years, MAGA Republicans, including members of the House committees who are in a closed-door session right now, have impugned my character, invaded my privacy, attacked my wife, my children, my family.
How, Sway? How? Dude.
How did they do it? It ain't their fault that you were too fucked up to realize that you left your laptop somewhere, and then people got a hold of it and we're like, look at this shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, man, yeah, it sucks that the photos got leaked and whatever else, and they were like everywhere, but it's also your fault for strapping 17 cameras to your ass whenever you fucking get hookers and drugs and gotta fucking videotape everything, dude. Like, what the fuck, man?
Friends. They've ridiculed my struggle with addiction.
Hold on real quick. Okay, ridiculed your struggle. You're the one that said that you would have smoked Parmesan off the carpet because it looked like that. I mean, it's horrible.
Right.
But I mean, you did your brother's wife after he died. All right. I mean,
yeah.
You guys got into a confrontation where she had to throw your gun into a dumpster across the street from a school.
Yeah. Yeah. You're trying to make yourself look like a model citizen here I don't think it's gonna cut it, man.
They belittled my recovery, and they have tried to dehumanize me, all to embarrass and damage my father, who has devoted his entire public life to service. For 6 years, I have been the target of the unrelenting Trump attack machine, shouting, "Where's Hunter?" Well, here's my answer. I am here. Let me state as clearly as I can. My father was not financially involved in my business, not as a practicing lawyer, not as a board member of Burisma, not in my partnership with a Chinese private businessman,
You sure about
not
that?
in my
Well, you
investments
did
at home
have
or
a
abroad,
partnership with
and
a
certainly
Chinese
not as an
businessman.
artist.
And certainly not as an artist.
During my battle with addiction,
Artist formerly known as
my
Hunter
parents were
Biden.
there for me. They literally saved my life. They helped me in ways that I will never be able to repay. And of course, they would never expect me to.
You could have repaid it if you didn't spend so much on hookers and blow, man.
And in the depths of my addiction,
I want to know real quick. So, all this stuff that's coming out and everything, like with the hookers and stuff like that, was that stuff from like just a few years ago? Like, did this stuff come out and they're like, you know what all the celebrities do? Oh, I did something wrong. I apologize. And they're like, I went to rehab. Like, is that what it is?
I'm not sure exactly when all of it happened. I know it has to be over a few years and stuff, like all the pictures from all the hookers and everything.
Yeah.
It had to be. It would have to be like at least fairly recently, like the past like 5, maybe 8-10 years, something like that.
Right. Because they said that okay, so the story was that the FBI had the laptop since what, 2017, 2018.
I think so. Yeah.
Right? Or 2000, I think 2017, because when everyone started getting copies of the hard drive, they're like, the FBI's had this in their possession for over a year.
Yeah. Man, like
And so
Kennedy said the other not too long ago, he's like, why didn't you guys just say that it was real? Like you didn't even have to say what was on it or anything, but
Right.
you could have settled a whole lot of that without going into any of the case or anything.
Right. So Hunter's little speech right here is along the lines, the narrative that people still believe that the laptop is fake.
Yeah, kinda.
And
Like
and that they're coming after him for no good reason.
well, it's like I don't even think he's trying to point toward it's not real or whatever, but he's trying to say that everything that they're saying is like an embellishment, and that he didn't really do really much of anything wrong, and blah blah blah, and like but he's trying to paint himself as a model person now, and so it's like he's not saying that it isn't real, as far as I've heard or known. Like he has to acknowledge that it's real, but he'll lie and still be like, I don't know, it could still be Russian disinformation for all I know.
Yeah. I mean, I will say it is kind of sad. Like, all right, you did something dirty, you got caught, and now like people literally saw you with your pants down.
Yeah.
How do you come back from that?
Exactly.
Like...
Yeah. You definitely can't.
I was extremely irresponsible with my finances.
And your dick.
But to suggest that as grounds for an impeachment inquiry is beyond the absurd.
Wait, he had a kid with a
shameless.
hooker.
Right.
Right before Biden went into office in 2020. Right?
Yeah, I think it was even a little while before that, I think. It was it was definitely before he got in. Yeah. Because I don't know how old the kid is now.
It's not that old.
Yeah, I think like 4 or 5.
Right. So, and remember, like everyone was blasting the Bidens this year for not acknowledging the other granddaughter. Oh, it's just a total mess.
Yeah.
These kids did not have a chance.
No.
There's no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business, because it did not happen.
Who's the big guy?
James Comer, Jim Jordan, Jason Smith, and their colleagues have distorted the facts by cherry picking lines from a bank statement, manipulating texts I sent, editing the testimony of my friends and former business partners, and misstating personal information that was stolen from me. There is no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing. They have lied over and over about every aspect of my personal and professional life. So much so that their lies have become the false facts believed by too many people. No matter how many times it is debunked, they continue to insist that my father's support of Ukraine against Russia is the result of a non-existent bribe. They displayed naked photos of me during an oversight hearing.
But
Yo, and they've taken the light
roll the tape.
Yeah, right. As he's saying all this, that they were lying and blah blah, all that shit. It'd be funny if like a reel was playing of all the photos from all the shit that he was doing, like weighing his crack and everything else, like on the side. It's like, okay, man.
My dad's love.
Well, it's not even that. It's the whole like son of a bitch, you know. I got him to pay the money, like that type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, so gross. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
The light of my dad's love for me and presented it as darkness. They have no shame. These same committee chairmen have engaged in unprecedented political interference in what would have already been a 5-year investigation of me. Yet, here I am, Mr. Chairman, taking up your offer when you said we can bring these people in for depositions or committee hearings, whichever they choose. Well, I've chosen. I am here to testify at a public hearing today to answer any of the committee's legitimate questions. Republicans do not want...
I love wordplay. It's amazing. He does have a point there about Jim Jordan saying that. He does. But at the end, he said, oh, shit. Can you go back like 5 seconds? All right.
To answer any of the committee's legitimate questions.
Answer any of their legitimate
Republicans
questions. Do
not want.
What does that mean? Like if it gets too, if it starts getting too deep, he's like, on the advice of counsel, I am advised not to say anything at this moment.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, is it whatever he deems it unlegitimate or illegitimate or whatever?
Yeah. And here's the thing though, too. And like, so many other people have had to do depositions. Trump has had a president has had to do depositions, right? Mm-hmm. His sons, both of his sons and his daughter, while he was still in office, had to do hours and hours long depositions. And they're like, okay, whatever. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. But yeah, like we said,
that isn't even over like what the Russia
right
Russia hoax.
And like we said, it's kind of a smart plan for them to try to just do it public if they only really have 5 minutes to question them and shit like that. So
I don't blame him for pulling this shit. It's a good strategy on his part.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks. I would like him to answer all the questions that he can. And
look at that face.
It's like a mixture between like a George Bush and Joe Biden face.
Oh, great pause.
It was.
I'm done hearing that. There's really only a few seconds left, but yeah. Oh man, him just trying to fucking paint himself as being all good, and everyone was totally lying about him. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Well.
But I guess we'll see how that goes.
Yep. Well, speaking of Biden's, let's just talk real quick. So Joe Biden, he pledged another $200 million to
Oh, yeah.
Ukraine, and
Good
I think
times.
there's a video of it too. Hold on.
Started having the background music going more, so we have some in between noise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah. Hold on. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not gonna play it, but anyway. So Joe Biden and Vladimir Zelensky had like some type of meeting in the Oval Office. There was like press and stuff there, and like reporters were yelling at Joe Biden like at like questions and stuff. He's like, hush up for a minute, just want to let you know I'm giving another 200 million to Ukraine. And then he stopped talking, and then like they were ushered out. So
Nice.
yeah.
Good. Yeah, good job.
Yeah. And also the the House of Representatives, they voted to formally open an impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. So
Yep. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I just think it's kind of funny how fast everything went with Democrats toward doing it to Trump, but it's like been a fucking slowest moving train ever to do it to Biden.
oh,
But like
well,
the first day
yeah.
the first day that he got in, what was it? Marjorie Taylor Greene put in for impeachment, but it's like he hasn't really. I mean, it's gonna be hard pressed to try to get that through like first day, lady. But I mean, appreciate the effort.
Yeah. There was a poll that came out on CNN that blew people's minds.
Blow your mind.
I'm just like going through headlines and stuff. It's that Trump leading Biden in Michigan and Georgia as broad majorities hold negative views of the current president. I think in here, one of the biggest things was that that there was like a bigger majority of people who didn't vote in 2020 were going to vote for Trump over Biden.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which isn't surprising.
Yeah. So here's this whole article that they got up here, which I think is funny. So like I've seen a lot of things out there on Twitter now, like especially like Gavin Newsom putting stuff out on like the abortion issue, and I feel like that's the only issue right now that Democrats can win on.
Right.
Is the abortion issue.
Uh-huh. And they'll try to run that into the ground, and I mean it's like the whole thing. There's a lot of conservatives or pro-lifers that are trying to reach across the aisle, I guess you'll say, or would say, to reach a certain agreement on things. It's like, if you're pro-life, be pro-life. Otherwise, just say you're pro-choice, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, Lordy be. Sorry, I'm like going down my notes and like Xing things out. So Alex Jones is back on X. What?
And if you haven't watched Tucker Carlson interviews Alex Jones on X, definitely watch it. That was a really good interview.
Yes, it was a very good interview. It just shows you, like, I mean, he's not all crazy. I have to say something that's grinding my gears. So Tim Pool keeps talking about how Alex Jones says crazy things about like human and animal chimeras and like how that's not true and blah, blah. I'm like, yes, it is. Chimeras are a thing, you idiot. Look it up.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily animal with it, but I know chimeras are a thing that I thought it was supposed to be like whenever you're a twin, but you like absorb it or whatever at birth or some shit like that.
No, like I don't know what that is, to be honest. What is it? Like man, bear, pig.
Yeah.
Like I'll find pictures. It's like how they make glow in the dark mice and stuff. I know that's more like genetic splicing, but they do have chimeras. All right.
Chimera.
I know. I'm trying to look for them. Like, you know, how they in like Greek mythology, like a chimera would be like a griffin or something like that.
Right,
Like,
yeah. That's
you know,
the
that they would
images
look
I'm
like that.
finding. Yeah.
Right. But there are hold on. What? Hold on a second. I have to bring up this study that's out of the NIH real quick. And it's like, is the American public is ready to accept human animal chimera research? This was published in October 1st of 2020.
Okay.
Of course.
Right.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, also in ways, I don't know if it would be considered that, but they already grow like human parts on mice and shit, like an ear.
Yes.
You
They
know?
grow ears on the backs of mice.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. So it's a thing. It's not like, you know, a human with a cat tail or something
Yeah.
like that right now, but like
Fucking Catman dude.
cat man, dude. But yeah, it's crazy that there's even gene editing and all that stuff scares the shit out of me, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it does me too. I mean, and there's like, I guess, just good possibilities for health wise and being able to heal faster and whatnot, but I don't know if I
Mhm.
really trust a lot of it.
Well, I remember like I would listen to David Knight. He used to do the morning show on InfoWars.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the David Knight show. And he would talk about all the time how people could use their own stem cells, like cells from their butt, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
to regenerate like their butt. Like you can regenerate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like that type of research has been like squashed and suppressed for a very long time because it's not it's not profitable.
Right. It's well, not as highly profitable, yeah, because like once you
Right, it's not
basically
as
do
highly
it once or so, it like once you're because I mean, there's no profit in healing, like actually healing
Mhm.
somebody, having them healed, they're not coming back, so they're no longer a customer, you know. So
Yeah. Crazy. But anyway, so Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer's out of jail
Mhm.
and back working. Like the kid's been working like a demon since he's gotten out of prison.
Right.
But he's been talking to a lot of people. There was a Twitter X Spaces with, or I guess an X Spaces. It's not Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
I still call it
With-
Twitter.
I know. With Elon Musk was on there, Alex Jones was on there, Andrew Tate, Christian Tate, Vivek Ramaswamy,
Mm-hmm.
Matt Gaetz, Jack Posobiec, Laura Loomer was on. There's like so many people on there. And I'm not gonna lie, like people are facing over this Twitter Spaces hard. Like, wow.
Yeah. I'd like to, which I'm pretty sure it's still up. I would like to go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I actually put the in our private chat the
Oh,
Owen
yeah, the link
Schroyer
to it.
link.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's the Spaces. It was
Okay.
like almost 3 hours long. I only got halfway through it. I didn't get to the point where Matt Gates was on there, but
Well, supposedly
it was
Vivek
pretty interesting.
Ramaswamy fucking took a leak during it
Well,
at one point.
yeah, it sounded honestly, it didn't sound like someone was peeing. It sounded like it was raining outside or something.
Ah, okay.
And it was quick, unless he like cut his stream real quick and he was like, oh shit. And then he's like, sorry guys, and then like muted it and then went back to peeing. Like, I don't know.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But it was weird. It was just like a bunch of dudes talking about saving the planet and saving America. It was
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, it's fun. That's like the opposite of the WEF. It's like a bunch of fucking villains sitting around talking about controlling everything, and then now we got our version of the guys on the right in spaces and shit, fucking talking about trying to save everything. Which is cool. It's still hard pressed to really trust Elon, but he's seemingly
Mhm.
trying to be better
Yeah.
about things. I do like the fact that he told the advertisers to go fuck themselves. So
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, he talks on there when they're talking about like Neuralink and stuff because people are talking about their concerns with.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those people that is just like, just because I can doesn't mean I should,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. But there's evil people out there that'll do evil things with that technology,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Exactly.
So, which also brings me to his freaking robot tweet. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
nope.
We're about to
There we go.
enter fucking iRobot.
Bumblebee. Optimus.
Right. I am Optimus Prime.
Yeah. Creepy as fuck. It looks like the robots in the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hands that creep me out the most.
Let's start whipping footballs at it, see if we can catch shit. Yeah, now but it's like funny. It looks like it's walking through like a RoboCop fucking car yard because Elon's cars look like fucking, or those trucks look fucking retarded. This fucking dancing at the end.
Oh my god. Honestly, it is like, I say this a lot about like what's going on like the tech world and everything. It's literally like Revenge of the Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
All these nerds like watch these, you know, like the Star Wars and like the Demolition Mans and like all these different things, right? And like Star Trek and I don't know, whatever other computer things, stuff like that. And they're like, oh,
Mhm.
how can we make it reality?
Right. Yeah.
Because like you're saying, like those trucks, like I've seen them in like apocalyptic futuristic movies.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And they're trying to make them actually be real. Like, I mean, Elon put bulletproof fucking glass on those trucks, for God's sakes, or what is supposed to be bulletproof glass. But those
Yeah.
things fucking suck. I mean, yeah, they're supposed to be fast and whatever else, but fuck that. I just don't think I'd ever get an electric car.
Yeah. Well, that gets me into I a lot of pundits have been talking about was it Leave the World Behind?
Oh, that
whatever that
movie.
movie is.
Yeah. Yeah.
that the Obamas are executive producers on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Dan Bongino talk about it. I've heard Tim Pool talk about it, seen different things on Twitter, on YouTube, and of people being like, are they trying to tell us something? And it's about, EMPs, electromagnetic
Yeah.
pulses, and like, what if we
Mm-hmm.
get hit by an EMP? Like, what would happen? And apparently that's what like this movie is kind of about. I haven't seen the movie, so
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I haven't either. I've just seen previews for it, but then there's another movie that's coming out a little while after. I think it's a movie. Yeah, I don't know if it's coming to Netflix or theaters or what, but it's called Civil War. And it's like
Mhm.
about like factions of the US versus the government and shit. And I think yeah, it's pretty wild if they're foreshadowing all this shit, like how they kinda tend to do
Yeah.
in movies.
Yeah, it's like talking about like what would happen if the internet was out and like you had no way to communicate, and ugh. It's like, so there's a book, 1 second after, or 1 minute after, I don't know, there's a series of books of like stuff like that. I started reading it one night, and then of course the lights went out because there was a storm, and I was like, I can't read this shit. It's like a doomsday book. I was like, nope, I'm a scaredy cat, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yeah. So I think that's why I get burnt out so much with like looking at this stuff, because I am such a scaredy cat that I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I need a break.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I'm
easy
getting
to
into,
get burned
I'm
out on
turning
this.
into Dark Jackie. I can't
Dark
be Dark
Jackie.
Jackie right now. Dark Jackie's returned. So,
Okay, yeah, there's
yeah, I don't know. Like, Dan Bongino was talking about the Leave the World Behind thing, and he said
Mhm.
it freaked him the fuck out because he's like, I have been in some of those meetings as a Secret Service agent, like when he was working under Obama, and
Yeah.
he's like, if you think that the government has a plan to save you from anything like this, they don't. Like, there aren't Faraday cages around our like electrical grid or like the electrical hubs or anything like that, so we're screwed. Which is
Mhm.
just like, okay, so then all these people who have the electric cars, or all the cars that are made after, what, I think it's like 2012 or
Yeah, I
something,
forget which year, yeah.
that are all off of circuit boards and stuff, like, you're
Mhm.
screwed. You can't go anywhere.
I think it's even earlier than that. I want to say like 2002 or maybe even a little bit before that. It's something with certain computers because like the EMP is gonna fry the board, because it over circuits everything. It shoots a bunch of electricity through it and everything. The currents just fuck it up. So, but yeah, there's certain cars that can still go, but a lot of people are gonna be fucked if something like that happens.
Yeah.
But it's
I mean,
also that's only really if it's a big enough one, to be honest. Like the main thing, we may not have to worry about that, but we'd still have to worry about like grids and stuff going down because you can have like briefcase EMPs because we have, I think it last number I forget how many like major transformers we have in the country. It's like 50,000 or some shit. Forgot, it was something like that. But the way that our grid and shit is if you strategically hit like 8 or 10 of them, you could take out enough of our grid to like fuck us up for a real long time.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
you
mean,
wouldn't have to do the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another thing that's actually happening though too is like hacking.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
how many times have we heard about someone hacking a grid or water supply system, or even our own U.S. government hacking voting machines?
Right.
Back in Georgia in 2016, that was
Mhm.
Reality Winner. That's why she went to prison.
Mhm.
Because she whistle blew on that, and but then it's like, how many times do you hear, oh, China hacked this, China hacked that? Or how many times our hospital information has been hacked?
Right. That's also what I wondered. Like, would you even really need an EMP? Could you hack into our electrical grid in certain areas and just shut it down? Or, I mean, you probably can. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It's crazy. But that actually I feel like a lot of stuff that we're talking about is like intertwining into like random things we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
Because, wanting to take everything electric is so huge right now. I want to call this segment kind of like, today on the UN Twitter. Like,
Mhm.
because I want to take you all through the UN's Twitter this past day or so, because it's all about getting rid of fossil fuels. And yeah, so here, I'll bring it up. I highly suggest that people follow the United Nations, because it's really crazy
Even if you
that
hate
it
'em.
has, even if you hate them, because they have 16 million followers, but like they'll get 30 comments, on things. Like, it's like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of people probably just keeping an eye on them. I don't know what their view count is. Yeah, because it's like, what was that, 105,000? That one that was above this one? But yeah, only 290 and
Oh,
88. So, I mean, they
right.
get a big view count, but
No one interacts with it or does anything with it.
yeah.
But it says, to those who oppose the clear reference to a phase out of fossil fuels in the COP28 text, I want to say that a fossil fuel phase out is inevitable, whether you like it or not. And that's from Antonio Gutierrez,
Like, and
who
they,
is
yeah, they
the
don't even try to hide their
Secretary General.
authoritarianism. They're just like, here it is.
No. Yeah. I'm looking more into this because this is interesting. I want to understand what resolution 2690 is, because it has something to do with Agenda 2030.
Mhm.
In the quick second that I looked at it, and I think it had something to do with relocation or something like that we talked about before. But anyway,
Okay. Human settlements.
pretty much. Yeah, and talks about like refugee programs, which is, it is what it is. They're all in on Gaza and wanting to
Whoa.
for a ceasefire. There was a vote at the UN for a forced ceasefire,
Yeah, that's right.
and it passed, and only 10 countries were against, and like another like 26 or something abstained from voting or what have you.
Mhm.
And of course, it was like Israel and the United States were like, no, we still want to do this.
Right. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, that's like the funny thing though too is like, okay, you're gonna take a vote to try and get a ceasefire, whatever else. So
Yeah.
even if like every country's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. But did Israel vote on that? Did they say they want it? Because like it doesn't matter what vote or what you want. Are you gonna go in there and just kick the door in and be like, look, you two, we're gonna stop this right now? Is that what you're planning on doing, UN? Because it doesn't matter what the fuck your vote says. Like, get fucked. If they want to fight, they'll fight. Like, I mean,
Well, that makes me think, like, are they going to send in the white helmets?
yeah,
The ones who have their own issues with humanitarian crisis and sex trafficking of people?
yeah, the blue helmets.
Yeah. No, they're white.
UN troops are blue helmets.
I hope this is not a Mandela effect. I swear to you.
Oh, they're pretty. They've always been pretty blue because
Well,
that's always been the joke around with all my friends and shit is stacking blue helmets if they try to come in the country.
well, maybe they are blue. Who knows? So, what is it? The era of fossil fuels must end. And it must end with justice and equity.
Yeah, fuck all that.
Hold on, I'm going to read this later. I want to know what's going on out there. But yeah, I mean, they tell you straight up, they hate you. They hate fossil fuels. They want justice and equity. So I
Mhm.
just thought it would be like a good, like this was a live refugee reform. I don't know. So I'm
Well,
going
was
to do
it just
more stuff of,
like a few days ago they put out something saying that they want the US to start cutting down on its meat consumption or whatever. It's like, fuck you, man.
yeah. So it's just like, these are the people running the world.
They want to, that think they fucking can.
Yeah. Right. This is the other one. The UN on hate speech. Hate speech is any kind of communication that attacks or uses discriminatory language with reference to a person or a group based on their religion, ethnicity, nationality, race, descent, gender, or other identity fact.
No, it's not.
So say no to hate speech, guys.
So like it's not. No, it's that. It's yeah. It's so stupid because no, it's not. It's like, I'm sorry, but it's not hate speech. Whenever I tell somebody to fuck off because you're a dumb motherfucker, it's not hate speech. I don't hate you. I might even have a beer with you afterward, but still, fuck off, you dumb motherfucker. Like, that's
Yeah.
so dumb.
So yesterday, that was the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly adopted a resolution on the Middle East demanding a humanitarian ceasefire. Resolution calls for the protection of civilians, the immediate unconditional release of all hostage, and humanitarian access. The United States said no. Russia said yes. Ukraine said no. But then also the whole thing is like, how are they going to implement that?
Yeah, how are you going to implement that?
Anywho.
Yeah, we're gonna make you cease fire by us coming in and firing on you.
Right?
That would be the only way. I mean, like I said, they're their own countries. You don't run it, so.
Yeah, I just feel more and more like we're getting primed for war.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you've seen this a lot. I know that I have, but like the past few days and stuff and weeks and everything, I've been watching on like Hulu or on YouTube or different things. I've been seeing a lot more army recruitment videos.
No, I haven't personally, but I've been hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like I've been hearing people saying like what you're saying, that they've been seeing it more, or that the reports is that they're trying to recruit a lot more, especially immigrants. I forgot who it was. Somebody in our fucking government was saying that yeah, we can just like get illegal immigrants, you know, to serve in the military. It's like yeah, that should be fine.
I mean, well, they can be police officers in Illinois.
Yeah. It's all good and fine and dandy. Yeah. I'm sorry. Some illegal tries to arrest me, I'm beating his ass. Like that.
Yeah. How make that?
You're not even a fucking citizen, bro. Get away from me.
Yeah. Make that make sense. Like,
yeah.
All right. If you're gonna arrest me, you should probably arrest yourself as well.
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah, he's trying to arrest you. Like, yeah, guess what? I'm calling the fucking ICE right now, bitch.
No.
Fuck you.
Okay, you arrest me. Okay, I'm calling a citizen's arrest right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Yeah, it's shit's crazy. So fucking backwards and fucked up right now.
It's getting bad. Like, you know how like people talk about, you know, how, you know, Klaus Schwab and they all talk about like the Great Reset, and then you look at, I watch a lot of different shit, but there's this woman, Question the Narrative. She's No Place Like Home on YouTube. Great stuff. she talked about like mud flood and like its connection to the Bible and Noah's Ark and like different things like that, and like the Nephilim and giants and all this stuff. And it makes me feel like sometimes, like, are we at that spot where, you know, we've bitten too much of the apple of knowledge, and now it's time for our brains to be reset? You know, like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. That's a interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's all I got. Yeah, that's all right. I'm just gonna leave it there. Well, because I just think like I don't think it has been this crazy before.
No, not
But
in our
then
lifetime
I
like
think,
this.
well, not yeah. But then I think about like, okay, well, you know, the Great Depression, and then right after that, it was World War II, like, you know, and different things like that. So maybe it was, and it's just like our perspective is different because communication is different, and everything, you can get things at
Well,
the drop of a hat.
everything is a lot a lot more presented faster, or presented a lot more faster, and also blown up a lot bigger, just because of social media and all that other shit, and also propaganda doesn't help. So
Right. But I mean, propaganda has been around forever. I just think
yeah,
that it's more pervasive
yeah,
and it's more deceptive,
absolutely,
you
yeah,
know, because I personally feel like people's moral integrity has gone down a lot more, in the sense of that, like, they don't mind fucking over people more
oh,
than
absolutely, yeah,
like, and more people would do it. I'm not saying that people back in the past wouldn't do it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it's more pervasive now.
yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of people just feel like it's acceptable a lot more now. Like hey, it doesn't matter.
I don't know why I got into that, but it just hit me. Anyhow.
Well, speaking of shit that people do that they think that just doesn't matter, we'll see where this goes though. But exclusive, the FBI report on the late night ballot fraud operation in Georgia in 2020 exonerates Rudy Giuliani and implicates Chris Wray. Oh, look who's over here, Miss Lewinsky. Yeah, let's read a little bit of this. The FBI report on the late night ballot fraud operation, blah blah. It implicates Chris Wray and exonerates Mr. Giuliani. Chris Wray's FBI, along with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's, that's a terrible last name, office, released a report in June. Can you imagine getting married to dude and your last name has to be Raffensperger? Like, oh goddamn.
Well, it reminds me, I would see there was a reel or like a meme on Instagram once, and it's like girls wearing football players' names on their butts or something, and it's like all these skinny girls like Favre and different things, and then it was like a bigger girl, and it's like Raffensperger. And that's what, every time I see his name, it reminds me of that, because I saw it and it made me chuckle so hard. It's really funny.
That's hilarious. His office released a report in June that concluded that they did not uncover any violations during their investigation of the late night ballot counting at the state's farm center in Atlanta, Georgia on election day, November 3rd, 2020. According to the report, teams of investigators from the FBI, GBI, and Georgia SOS conducted independent and simultaneous interviews of Fulton County elections workers who were involved in the processing and scanning of absentee ballots at the State Farm Arena on election night on November 3rd, 2020. Investigators from 3 law enforcement agencies also reviewed the entire unedited video, security video footage of the events in in question at State Farm Arena. SOS investigators independently interviewed party observers who were present at State Farm Arena that evening. They did not uncover any violations, political violations. They investigated blah blah. Source FBI report: the interviews for investigation took place back in December 2020 following November 2020 election. According to GBI or FBI report, the bulk of the investigation appears to have been conducted in December 2020 and January 2021, but both state election board and the Georgia Security Estate was backed up reviewing claims. Again, the report was just released in June by Chris Wray, FBI and GBI in Georgia, along with Georgia SOS Brad Raffensperger. It appears that there was no new information in the report. It was down December 2020. What did it take? 3 years for Chris Wray's FBI to release the report? Several elections.
Why would it take until June of 2023 to release a report that they didn't get any new information from that was known in December of 2020?
Right, exactly, yeah. Several election officials went back to the State Farm Arena and they began counting ballots late at night without observers present. According to Georgia Republican Party at the time, this was unlawful activity. Congressman Doug, blah, blah, blah.
Collins, yeah.
Hold on, and I wrote today, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, describing the election irregularities which cause us concern. We also provided his office with sworn testimony supporting our concerns. Designated Republican observers and members of the public have been denied the opportunity to observe the counting of votes as required by law. Thousands of ballots have been unlawfully counted in secret. Voter review panels in at least 8 counties have met to adjudicate disputed ballots without notice to the Republican members as required by law. So they're not doing anything by the book. Well, we all know that they haven't been, but just hopefully this shit keeps getting more and more uncovered because something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Joe Hoft, who is a contributor at the Gateway Pundit, first released video at the time exposing election workers at the State Farm Center on election night, shoving stacks of ballots through the machines several times. In one instance, a stack of ballots was fed through one machine 3 times by operator Ruby Freeman,
who got a freaking a medal from the White House. It was
really?
A Medal of Freedom or something like that. Yes, her and her daughter. I think it was this past year they got like a medal or something like that, and they're like,
that's
and
ridiculous.
Because these damn Republicans, unjustly saying that they were a part of election fraud in Georgia, and they got freaking medals.
Well, here's why. Yeah. And the same stack of ballots was fed through another machine by election worker Ralph Jones. The same stack of ballots went through the machines at least 4 times. Here again is video of the election workers pulling hidden ballots out from under a draped table, jamming the ballots through the machines multiple times. I think I've seen that video before. It should be noted this was not just happening at one table, but multiple tables. Following the 2020 presidential election, Rudy Giuliani and the Gateway pundits Jim Hoft and Joe Hoft were sued by 2 election workers, Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Shea Moss, her daughter. That's a crazy name, Wandrea. The 2 women claim that they were threatened after Giuliani, Jim, and Joe reported on their illicit activities late at night on November 3rd, 2020. In August of this year, Obama-appointed D.C. Judge Beryl Howell decided that Giuliani was legally liable for defaming 2 Georgia election workers, Ruby and Shea, because he was late in producing relevant evidence to the election workers' attorneys. So she pronounced Rudy guilty at the... It's fucking crazy. Rudy guilty of the crime. We later learned that Rudy could not turn over the documents to the attorneys because he was not holding the information. Investigators were holding it in another case against Rudy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So that's a Brady violation then.
I'm not sure. But Rudy is innocent and never lied about the election workers. He never admitted to lying. Rudy will now be forced to sit through a show trial in front of Judge Beryl Howell in the coming days as the DC jury decides how much he will be forced to pay Ruby and her daughter Shay. He shouldn't have to pay shit.
Nope. This whole I'm so grossed out.
Right. Fast forward to this weekend, the Gateway pundit Jim Hoff discussed the case with a very prominent attorney. We were advised to review the report released in June by Chris Wray's FBI GBI and the Georgia Secretary of State's office. And there's a little bit more going on, but that's the basis.
Whoa. Hold on. And what we found was explosive. Rudy is completely exonerated by the FBI GBI report, and Rudy was exonerated by Ruby Freeman, during her own testimony.
Okay. According to Ruby Freeman,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she was
I get to
harassed after the 2020 election when she was exposed for shoving stacks of ballots through the voting machines numerous times late at night and in the State Farm Center. Ruby told investigators in December 2020 that the situation was bad after a fake social media account was posted using her name. That's when the situation got really bad from the report. Freeman was also questioned about her alleged social media posts. However, she wanted to speak with an attorney before proceeding any further on that issue. She stated the situation was bad due to alleged posts and that she had received over 500 emails, text messages, and was being harassed by having unsolicited pizza orders sent to her house. People were also calling her neighbors and questioning them about her. Freeman was asked to review some social media posts, but she declined to answer further questions until she retained an attorney. The FBI report read. Freeman was also questioned about her alleged social media posts. She wouldn't speak with an attorney. Yeah, it's still the same shit.
Yeah.
Giuliani did not expose Ruby's name during his Georgia hearing. And now we know that Ruby blamed the alleged harassment and abuse she received on the fake social media accounts setting up using her name.
Right. So her claim is that because Rudy Giuliani spoke about her, that he's liable for defaming her because he had her name in his mouth. But what happened was her name was actually already out there on social media posts, and she was already being harassed by people before Giuliani said anything.
Right. And I guess it says right here, now it gets really interesting. Okay. Chris Wray's FBI, the GBI, and GASOS interviewed the individual who created the fake Ruby Freeman social media page and published totally fabricated posts that allegedly were put up by Ruby Freeman. For the record, the Gateway pundit did not post these social media reports at the time because they were completely over the top. We knew they were likely fake. Here is what is interesting. The FBI interviewed the man who created the fake Ruby Freeman account, but they never named him in the report. His name was redacted for some, of course. He created the Ruby Freeman Georgia account, but did not write the specific post regarding tampering with the 2020 election. According to the FBI report on December 4th, 2020, he came across Instagram user @redacted who posted the supposed Congress confession by Freeman. Shortly thereafter, @redacted changed their account name to Ruby Freeman _Georgia. Counters subsequently changed the account name to Ruby blah blah. The account later made private and then deleted. Redacted created a new Ruby Freeman Georgia account described as being a fake parody account. So this is just more on that. Allegation reported social media. Okay. FBI did not arrest the man as far as we know. Why not? Who is this man? Why was his name redacted? Why was the other man's name redacted? And more importantly, Ruby Freeman did not sue this man despite saying that it was this man's actions that led to the online abuse and harassment received. Of course, the report mentions this in passing. There's more. Billy May
Oh
style.
my
But wait, there's
God.
more.
But wait, there's more.
As we reported in our headline, the FBI GBI report exonerates Rudy Giuliani and it implicates FBI Director Chris Wray. The investigative findings or conclusion of the FBI GBI and Jesus Christ, so many letters, report amidst the most important accusations. The Gateway Pundit was the first to report that the election workers, Ruby Freeman, Shay Moss, Ralph Jones, and others were shoving stacks of ballots through the machines numerous times. There was a video of Ruby taking a stack of ballots, blah, blah. Yeah, there was a video of Ralph shoving a stack of ballots. After a 3-year investigation, Chris Wray and the FBI do not even mention this in the,
Oh, wow.
So maybe that's why it didn't get put out until
No,
right.
that would make sense.
Employees interviewed, consistent recording regarding Epstein balance for process. Scan that evening. Additionally, no one had any knowledge of observers. Poll watchers and media had to leave. 2 poll watchers who identified themselves as members of the Georgia Republican Party submitted affidavits as to what they observed in the election night. Much of what they reported was consistent with what was reported by Fulton County election employees. Additionally, the Fulton County election employees' accounts were consistent with the actions observed in the video surveillance footage. Both poll watchers confirmed no one was told or instructed to leave State Farm Arena. Furthermore, investigators from 3 law enforcement reviewed the entire unedited video footage. Events questioning surrounding Freeman and Moss at the State Arena. There was no evidence of any type of fraud was alleged. Fulton County Board of Elections and Registration put specific process in place to store ballot boxes underneath tables and to have them in certain order to monitor. So yeah, they just said, no, we didn't see shit.
No, that's how Georgia does it. They just like, when they said that things are closed and, people's backs are turned, they just pull things out and, it's Georgia rule to, put ballots through 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Jeez.
And there's the whole report.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. That was a long ass article, but that was worth reading. That's pretty wild. So they still aren't saying who the man was that supposedly made the fake account, but interesting. But now that shows that Giuliani wasn't wrong. So
election stuff, like, it just keeps coming out and drips, and it's just like, it's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, you still have people being like, oh, there was no fraud, but it's just like, you have little things here and there and there and there, and it's just like, if you put it all together,
right. Well, and even whenever you do point it out and then they admit that there was some fraud, they're like, well, it probably wasn't enough to change the election, or just look forward. Like, let's just look forward and let's
move forward.
Yeah, like, fuck you, we need to get this shit fixed. Quit being a pussy and just backing down to it.
And this is why you can't just keep giving people a pass. That's why it keeps happening.
Smash.
So annoying. But well, I will say there is someone that is just having a really bad day. And that's apparently Jack Smith is having a bad day today. A bad week, actually. So from our friend Dave Bondi. Hope to have him again on soon.
Mm-hmm.
But so the Supreme Court will hear a case that could undo the Capitol riot charge against hundreds of the J6ers, including Donald Trump. So it says that the Supreme Court has announced it will hear an appeal with the potential to impact numerous charges related to the Capitol riot, including those against former President Donald Trump. The case involves an appellate ruling that reinstated a charge against 3 defendants for obstructing an official proceeding, specifically the certification of Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. This charge is one of 4 brought against Trump in a case led by special counsel Jack Smith, accusing him of conspiring to overturn the election results and obstructing an official proceeding. There's another one in there too. Hold on. This is a felony used against 300 plus January 6ers and represents half of Jack Smith's indictment against Trump. The SCOTUS determines DOJ has if they determine the DOJ has misused the statute, it'll be a huge game changer. So it was a part of the 1512C2. Has been traditionally used for charges related to the destruction of evidence, and this was after Enron.
Right.
That this came about after Enron in 2002. And it focuses on its relevance to alleged obstruction during the electoral count in the January 6th. Okay, the court's decision to weigh in on the obstruction charge could threaten the start of Trump's trial, currently scheduled for March 4th. And so
it's so ridiculous. It's not even until then.
Well, here's the thing, though. So if it gets pushed back, the DC trial gets pushed back, then the Miami trial gets pushed back too, because like the Miami trial is like intertwined with the DC trial.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then there was a whistleblower who came out. There was a whistleblower complaint of a former federal agent filed with the DOJ, including an affidavit by eyewitnesses who claims that Trump's indictor, Jack Smith, oversaw the deposit of bribes into a black fund while prosecuting crimes in Kosovo, where Beau Biden rebuilt the post-war justice system. So, I don't know. But there's it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
A lot of shit happening.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening. I mean, all that, and then you have, all those presidents of the universities of, like, what was it, Penn, Harvard, MIT? Which is funny enough, they're all women.
Yeah, I know. But wasn't it Harvard that they stuck up for or whatever? The one that was caught plagiarizing?
Yes, what's her name? Gay?
Gay?
Something gay, yeah. So they stood up for her. I think it was at Penn. The president from Penn resigned.
Yeah.
The president from Harvard is not resigning.
Of course not.
So I don't know. I will say, okay, I listened to, that part with, like, Elise Stefanik, talking and stuff. And I listened to the president's response. And honestly, the responses weren't bad because they are actually pro First Amendment. But their actions on other issues is not consistent with their answer.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest uproar that people have.
Yeah, it's like doing one or saying something and doing the other. It's real hypocrisy.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I don't know. Well, but
all right. All I have. Yeah, I think that's about it for this episode. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Kick that outro. Good to be back. We can be back next Wednesday for the Christmas episode. We're going to try to have some people on, trying to get older people and whatnot. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Davey will be back next week. Like I said, I was off because my son's wrestling season and whatnot. So whenever he has his wrestling nights, if I'm able to go to that, I'm gonna do that because obviously I want to see him wrestle and whatnot. And That's more important. So sorry. but yeah, beyond that, I'll just go ahead and say catch me at Scott_Craiglow on Instagram, Business Party Podcast on Instagram, and Biz Party Podcast on Twitter, because I'm not calling it X.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, X, whatever, at Suburban Mama 1. That's Suburban Mama, the number 1. Also, you can catch me, Davey, and Jack on Sundays. It hasn't been very consistent, but after the holidays and stuff, it'll be more consistent. I promise. Thank you. And but yeah, so we have the Weekend Hangover on Sundays. It is nothing like these shows. We literally talk pop culture, like we talk TV shows, documentaries.
Yeah, I should start trying to get more into that. I should start trying to get more into talking some of that shit. I don't have anything to really watch them because I don't have Netflix or anything. So, but it would probably brighten up my attitude sometimes instead of always having my head into this bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
I have been playing guitar quite a bit more though, because I've been trying to get more into that again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you work with 3 other bitches. I guess we love drama.
Right.
They know I love them very much. It's so fun to have them to talk to about like different drama things that are there, because I'm very dramatic when I talk about it, and they're just like very guyish about the drama that they talk about. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, come on, get more enthusiastic with me, please. So, but it's fun, we're going to be talking about like Survivor. Like I said, we're getting into like Britney Spears a little bit, talking about her memoir, her conservatorship, how conservatorships are used in Hollywood for celebrities and other people. I'll tell you that when it came out about Michael Oher, and he was in a conservatorship too, right? I was like, wait, this change. I can't watch The Blind Side anymore.
Yeah, I know it does. It changes. Yeah, it does. It's like it's pretty much a big lie,
right? And it makes you think like, oh, well, did the Tuohys just use him?
Seemingly, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So we'll get like into that. I am totally getting you guys into Sister Wives because I got to talk about that mess. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, we'll see.
So.
But beyond that, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, like I said, I'll just say you can find me on X at Suburban Mama 1, Suburban Mama the number 1, Mama MOMMA. Yep, find me there. I've actually started tweeting lately instead of just like, so I started because I was like, I'm fed up, I'm just gonna do it. Start
putting some shit out.
Yeah. So
that's about it, and we will see you next week. Hopefully you all have a good night and a good weekend, and fuck the moon, go into Uranus. Love y'all.
Woo!